Welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown. I am the Senior Director for Regulations, Policy, Monitoring, and Enforcement at Jamaica's Special Economic Zone Authority. In today's episode, we're going to cover the value and role of the pre-approval or pre-approval process. In Jamaica and in other jurisdictions, there is a pre-approval process, which in a sense functions as a pre-screening process for authorities, zone authorities, to check to see whether or not a investment is a good one. Zone regimes are, by their nature, incentive programs, whether they carry fiscal or financial incentives. In either way, it is the people's money that the authority has certain responsibilities over. So we have to ensure that any beneficiary of such incentives will bring value to the country. So the pre-approval, in a sense, does a pre-screening for zone authorities. And Jamaica is not alone in having such a pre-qualification process. And what it does, it gives the thumbs up for the authority to say, yes, we've examined your project, we've examined, outlined a proposal that says, and the authority in essence says, yes, we like what we see, we would like to see more. Now, in Jamaica's instance, it doesn't entitle you to any fiscal incentives. And the policy decision was taken because in order to balance certain interests, to not allow for what would be a conditional approval, which would give access to fiscal benefits. In other jurisdictions, that is the case where they do allow, but generally speaking, what happens as a safeguard is they generally put in some clawback mechanism to, if the project does not end up getting final approval, the authorities get to claw back the fiscal benefits or actually, administrative fees that were spent on that or incurred by authorities and other government bodies if the project does not go ahead. In Jamaica's instance, we don't have that mechanism at this time, but we could, who knows, in the future. But at this time, we don't have such a mechanism. So the pre-approval does not give the applicant any access to the fiscal benefits. However, some may say, well, then it's of no use. It's just a piece of paper. There's no value to it. But I would argue that no, there is value to it. Now, depending on the size and nature of your project. Now, the larger projects, for example, typically will carry, multiple rounds of financing. So what the pre-approval does, it gives a investor a piece of paper that says, I have already carried my concept to an authority, to the zone authority, where I want to set up my zone, and they like it. So they have given me, in essence, an endorsement, but I have some technical documents, technical studies, topographical studies, soil studies, environmental impact studies that I need to do in order to get my final approval. But for the most part, they like what they see. I just need to get those final documentation into them. Do you want to invest in me? Since I've gotten that endorsement from the authority, they've reviewed me, they found me to be sound, they've done due diligence on me. Of course, due diligence isn't absolute and is always is a continual process, but they've given me the thumbs up. So why not come and invest in me? In addition, you may have a situation where you have, applied, gotten pre-approval, and then you need to go to the bank or for different levels of financing, or you could be attracting. You may not necessarily. You could go to certain institutional investors, pension funds, mutual funds, and so forth. That actually, the pre-approval actually gives you something to carry, not just your project. Which you have your numbers calculated and what you're going to do and all of these different things. That's great, and A large part of what they will base their decision on will be that. But then having that extra piece of paper that says the zone authorities have reviewed and they find favor with my project is a very powerful tool. So it would greatly assist in raising capital, and also says to other regulatory bodies that, hey, the zone authority believes that this project can be a success. Let me see how I can assist and how I can facilitate this project moving forward, if possible, because there may be issues that other regulatory bodies, may examine and say, no, this can't work. So the pre-approval does carry a lot of value, a lot of merit if used correctly. So if you like what I had to say today, please like, share, comment, leave a comment down below at the comment box. Please leave some suggestions for future episodes. Bye for now.